Welcome back. I'm Miranda Kahn. Time now for a look at your money headlines. Goldman Sachs warns that the world is sinking in debt, and experts say growing debt piles are the biggest threat to the global economy. According to The Telegraph, Greece's debt is valued at more than 330 billion euros. Hillary Clinton says the GOP is threatening small businesses. The 2016 presidential hopeful says Republicans want to pull the plug on a government agency that guarantees loans to U.S. exporters. But conservatives argue they want to eliminate the bank because they say it gives the government too big of a role in the private sector. U.S. home prices are slowly on the rise. The S&P says home values were up roughly 6% in March. That's compared to the year prior. And it's partly because fewer people are selling their homes, which means would-be buyers often find themselves in a bidding war. Executives at Yum Brands say they're getting rid of artificial ingredients. So instead of black pepper flavor, Taco Bell will now use real black pepper in its seasoned beef. And Pizza Hut is removing artificial colors by the end of July. A new study says media CEOs are among the top paid executives in America. In fact, 6 of the 10 highest paid executives work in the media industry. The best paid boss, that's David right there, Salas, I believe, head of the Discovery Channel. He was compensated more than $156 million last year. And Charter Communications agrees to buy Time Warner Cable in a deal worth more than $78 billion. The agreement comes just a month after Comcast pulled its $45 billion offer. Executives at Charter say they're confident the deal will be approved by federal regulators.
And thank you, Miranda. We're joined now by Tom Hutchinson, Senior Financial Editor at MoneyNews.com. And Tom, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, John.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about this giant cable merger in a moment. But first, let's talk about the first story we talked about. Goldman Sachs seems to be concerned about this global debt, perhaps spiraling out of control. And now we're learning that Greece won't be able to make its debt repayments to the IMF on time. How concerned should we all be about this?
Well, I think a Greek exit from the euro is inevitable. I think at this point, everyone knows they're going to exit. The question is when. And it just becomes a matter of how long they're going to put this off, how long they're going to tango on. I think the new Greek government has underestimated the ECB and Germany and their willingness to let them exit, so they don't have as much leverage as they thought, so negotiations are getting a little testy. But my guess is that they'll find a way to put off the inevitable a little bit longer.
So is this like a ripping off the Band-Aid type of situation? There are going to be real impacts of doing this, but it needs to happen sooner than later, and maybe the sooner the better? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's never a good time to quit smoking. It's inconvenient. Europe is just crawling out of near recession. They're doing a lot better. They don't need this. And I think the thinking is probably they'll be okay with a Greek exit. And there won't be contagion to the peripheral countries, Spain and Italy. But they don't know for sure, and they kind of really aren't in a hurry to find out.
All right, so you talked about the potential for other countries exiting the euro as well. We know this could be an issue coming up in the UK as well. Is the euro done as we know it?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I don't think that. I think actually a Greek exit would strengthen it.
Okay.
And I think the Spain and Italy are a different story than Greece. And I think they'll hang on. I think at least for the foreseeable future, it'll be fine.
All right, let's revisit Spain and Italy at a different time because I also want to talk about this giant cable merger that has been proposed between Charter Communications and Time Warner. We know that federal regulators kind of stamped on the other proposed merger between Comcast and Time Warner. Will this one actually go through?
I think it will. Now, you never know. I mean, they're regulators after all. But I think it will because the new company will be smaller. The new combined company will be smaller than Comcast. And, circumstances have changed a little bit in the cable industry. It used to be they didn't like the fact that there were these mergers because they get bigger than anybody else, drive out the competition. But now, these cable companies are sort of taking it on the chin from Netflix and this streaming video on the internet. And now it's, the consolidation might ultimately add to competition. And I think for that reason, they'll let it go through.
Okay, a little check and balance against Comcast, which is still the biggest player in the game, you say?
Yes, exactly.
All right, positive market forces, maybe more choices for the consumer as well. Now, we know these guys are all in the market for more content, too. Tom Hutchinson, thanks so much for being with us. And, of course, you can find out more from Tom's insights on the economy. You can go to High Income Factor. Simply go to moneynews.com/HIF. Again, moneynews.com/HIF. You can get more of Tom's insights. Tom, always great to see you.
You too, John. Thank you.
I got much more coming up here on Newsmax Now. We're going to take a look at top headlines from today. They're happening around the world as we speak. John Bachman, Miranda Kahn coming back with more Newsmax Now right after this.